Okay, this is just a quick review of the Fobus Speed holster. This holster I bought for the simple purpose of being able to carry a weapon light on my Glock 19. I currently have a Raven concealment holster on order and thought this would fill in nicely until I got that. But I've got some issues with it that will probably deter me from carrying this holster again. The holster secures your weapon, and the way you draw it is by indexing your finger as you're drawing the pistol, your index finger, and unhooking this strap, and then you rock the gun out of the holster with a quick snapping motion towards the rear, rotating the gun out. I don't like the draw on this holster. I thought I would, but I do not, because it conflicts with training with my duty weapon and the holster for that. My duty holster is a Safariland SLS holster, and that is a very simple holster to operate. You rotate the hood forward and you remove the weapon from the holster, drawing straight up. There is no other retention on that holster. The reason why I do not like this holster is the conflict in training with my duty holster. I've done about 300 draws with this holster so far. I've carried it for approximately 10 hours today, as I purchased it today. So for me, with the conflict in training, that is one of the negatives of this holster. As you're training, well, you need to carry what you train with, and you shouldn't be cross-training in different methods of draw. That's just a given. Second point, there's this little nub on the inside. This actually sticks inside your barrel and secures your weapon. I don't like that, because if that should break off inside your barrel when you need to discharge rounds, that could be a very catastrophic situation, causing your weapon to go kaboom. Second thing, I really don't like this strap, how you have to activate it with the index finger of your draw hand, moving it and then rocking the holster out. I also am not a fan of the roto system on this. This is the first time I've tried a roto holster. I have a standard Fobus holster that has a non-adjustable cant. Several times while I was drawing the weapon, I actually rotated the holster with the weapon and couldn't extricate the weapon from the holster. That, to me, was unacceptable. I've tightened this screw in here about as tight as I can get it, and it will still do it on occasion. Construction is your standard Fobus. You know, it's pretty solid construction for the holster, but the paddle is a little weak. I think that's just so it's nice and soft against your leg. Also, it's a very thick holster. I mean, this is not a concealment holster at all. I mainly bought this for wearing under a sport coat at a part-time security job that I do. And even under the sport coat, the holster is very, very bulky. I could see this maybe being used for competition shooting, but as far as personal defense, I don't think this is a very good holster. One with the different style of draw. Most people train with the method I described earlier, where you just draw straight up. You just pull the gun straight out of the holster. With this, I just think there's too much going on, much like, level 3 retention holsters, where you have to undo the snap, click another strap off, and rotate the weapon. I think that's too much to do under stress, and unless you really, really, really train with this holster, I think that's going to be an issue. Also, another thing that I notice is when you rotate the holster, if you put any forward force on the weapon, if you push down on it at all and you push that gun into this notch here that goes inside the barrel, you can actually bring the weapon out of battery. I haven't found that to be an issue with my weapon staying out of battery. However, in any type of defensive situation where you need to have your gun working right now, bringing it out of battery for any point of time, be it just a split second while you're drawing it, can really cost you and can create a tragedy for you or your family. A weapon out of battery is pretty much useless, and unless you're cognizant of your weapon malfunctioning and know how to clear the malfunction and bring your weapon back into workable order, you're really up a creek without a paddle on that one. Again, I got to keep this brief because I'm doing this on my phone. I'd like to go into further detail, but as far as I'm concerned, this is not a holster to be carried for personal defense. There are just too many issues with it. One being the different, I guess I would say, way of removing the firearm from the holster. Two would be the thickness of the holster. I mean, this thing is probably a good 4 inches wide. It's a very wide holster. Then you got this notch here, the weapon sometimes coming out of battery, and I also noticed that sometimes when I reholster my weapon, it'll turn my TLR1 on, which not a big deal, but I don't like that. Something here is getting hooked on the activation switch. Also with the fact that this roto design is not a secure design. They really need to make this like a double screw where there's 2 screws holding the holster together rather than just this single screw, because that's not secure. So I would really strongly caution anyone thinking about carrying this weapon or this holster for personal defense. I think there's better options out there for those wanting to attach a weapon light to their weapon for concealed carry. Like I said, I really can't give my opinion on the Raven concealment holster yet, but everything I've read on it is really top notch, so I'm very much looking forward to that holster. This holster, on the other hand, I cannot recommend. It just doesn't it doesn't cut the mustard. So the Fobus speed holster might be good for competitions, things like that, but for actual use for personal defense, CCW, or even duty use for a plainclothes officer, this would probably not be a good option. Again, that's just my opinion. After carrying it for only a 10-hour period, doing about 300 practice draws with it, I gotta say no to this holster. I will not be carrying this anymore. Unfortunately, I wasted about $30 today on this holster. So, yeah, thank you for watching.